Hey, you are most welcome back. So today we shall start off from where we left off in our previous video in this series, whereby we created a nav bar and we just left it off like that. So today we shall be just registering our models. We saw that they're actually critical and a very important element of our application Django, and then we shall see how to register them later on in the next tutorial. So today I'm going to open up a file which is already created under the to-do app that we created, the application that we created. So we go to models, then under models you'll find that you actually have where you can create our models from. So by default it imports for you, and then you just have to start coding straight away. So if you're new to this channel, my name is Ronia Taira, aka AfroBoyTex, and I'm glad that you chose this particular video. So let's start off by creating a class. We're going to create a class, we call it To-Do. This class of ours, which is going to be To-Do, is going to inherit from our models.model class. Then under here now, let's have what we need to be actually be rendered. So after creating that, let's create what we need is a task first and foremost. This first is going to be coming from models. It's going to be basically a character field. So basically you're putting in a string, so we can say character field. We shall give it a maximum length of 200. Then what else do we need? I think we shall also need to be able to check off the to-do lists. Let's create a variable. We call it another model. We call it maybe complete. Okay, let's call it completed. Then this model is going to be a boolean by default. As you can see, tab 9 is an auto completion tool that I have that helps me complete. So by default it's reading actually, so I could just double click, so I could just tab, then it brings me what I need. So by default we're going to set it to false, such that all to-do lists actually not yet completed. Then what else do we need? I think we need also to be able to return this task. So let's define here, let's remember we can Python, we can, with classes you can actually get to you get to change the normal string variables and print a function that actually can be pre-built with Python. So let's create a variable, let's create a function here called string, so that every time we call a string can actually return the task. So we're going to be returning self.task. So every time we call here, we shall be just creating we shall be returning our to do. So that's it. That's it for the models that we actually need. So anytime we create a model in a Django, we must create a new migration. That's what we're going to. So after creating the migration, so Django will scan those models in the models.py file and then migrate those files automatically for us. So migration files are used to modify the database. Basically they hold the data, meaning the requirements of the application. So for example, if we go to terminal and we say py manage.py make migrations, known, oh there's a typo, we just go back here, make migrations for to do. So you see it has created our model. So what we need to do, we need now to be able actually now, as you can see, our model is actually created, our migrations are happening, and to do migrations and initial.py. So if we actually scrolled through, we could see those migrations were happening. So they're under here. So basically it's a class that is created, and this is what you've just created right now. So by default, you see Django gives you a primary key for everything that you do. So by default, it's actually auto incrementing, yes, and this primary key is actually attached to ID. So by default, everything that you create, every model that you shall be creating, every to-do model that you shall be subclassing from our model, from our to-do class that we just created under models, shall be having an initial ID appended to it. So this is by Django by default, but you can choose to override this under the models, but I'll leave that at that. So the next step in here, we just have to migrate. So you just say pi manage. Now we migrate. So as you can see, everything is fine. That says it is okay. So in order for those migrations fail that we actually worked on, you had to migrate the database. So just you're basically now trying to do is migrating the database so that you can actually have application running and it is in sync. So the key takeaway here is every time you create a model or edit a model, even if you're just editing, you have to create the migrations and then you also have to run the migrations. Yes, that's it for today. In the next video, we're going to look at how you can add these models into the admin. We're going to just register them in the admin, then we also log in as an admin and you see what we've just created. Thank you so much. If you're new and you've liked this content, please subscribe, please hit that like button. Thank you. See you in the next one. Have a great one.